prizes for the class of 2000. Students, please remain standing. At this time, I am honored to tell you a little bit about this year's recipient of the Faculty Award. This student is a stellar student and enthusiastic learner. This student contributes in nearly all areas of the school. As the National Honor Society President and as the President of the Student Senate, this student exemplifies leadership with great competence, a beautiful smile, and always performs well beyond expectations. She has a kind and inclusive attitude toward all her classmates and a warmth receptiveness towards her teachers. As one teacher wrote, and I quote, "Titles are not, however, the most outstanding feature about this remarkable young woman. Her warm personality, her sterling character, and her enthusiasm for life are all hallmarks of this fine young woman. She is simply one of the most exemplary individuals that I have known over a long career in education." End quote. It is with pleasure and honor that I announce that this year's recipient of the Class of 2000 Faculty Award is Lisa Mavilla.
Emily is right. This is a very special graduation for me for a lot of reasons. I promised somebody special I wouldn't cry or embarrass him. But I will tell you that so many of you are my daughters and sons, and it's going to be very hard to watch you go. So we learned to love you all. Some of you took a little bit longer to learn to love than others. However, we did learn to love you all. And the one thing we learned is that when we learned to love you and you learned to love us back, it was because of trust. If you've learned nothing else these 4 years, then you can't have your diploma. No. If you've learned nothing else, then please remember that trusting people is such an important part of life. And when you learn to trust us, we could help you, and that's the way life runs. I have a little tiny speech for the parents. This is not for the kids, but bear with me. These are things that you haven't learned in school. Number one, life isn't fair. Get used to it. The average teenager uses the phrase, "It's not fair," 86 times a day. The real world won't care as much about your self-esteem as our school did. This may come as a shock to some people. Sorry, you won't make $40,000 a year as soon as you get out of here tonight. And you won't be a vice president and have a car phone either. No, you all have your phones up. Have you taken a few phones tonight? You may even have to wear a uniform that doesn't have a designer label, but a fancy label with your name on it. If you think your teachers were tough, wait till you get a boss. Flipping burgers is not beneath your dignity. Your grandparents had a different word for flipping burgers. They called it opportunity. It's not your parents' fault if you mess up. You're responsible. This is the mirror image of "It's my life and you're not my boss." Before you were born, your parents weren't boring. They got that way paying bills and listening to you. Life is not divided into semesters, and you don't get summers off. Not even spring break. You are expected to show up every day for 8 hours, and you don't get a new life every 10 weeks. And some of you, I would just love to be there that first day of work and see if you make it. Your school may be outcome-based, but life isn't. In some schools, you're given many chances to get the answer right. Remember that the standards you set are the ones you need to live by, not someone else's. Set your standards high and be sure to remember that we are all very, very proud of you. And we are sorry to lose you and to keep in touch because you are a big part of our lives. This is not a job for us, ladies and gentlemen. This is an act of love. At this time, I have the pleasure of introducing our valedictorians. And these are students who received an overall grade point average of 4.0 or above. And they're going to be read in alphabetical order. Charlotte Boyard. Carolyn Brotmark. Karen Ching-Yi Chen. Sun Kyun Cho. Yi-Jun Fan. James Thornton Gammon. Kenyon Alexa Han. Meredith Kearsley. Adnan Rahman Khan. Homa Karami. Elizabeth Mary Lambert. Sangyup Park. Christine Cadiz Saliendra. Catherine Andrea Schumann. And Amy Louise Zaronis.
Good evening, I'm Bethany Oliva, your senior class treasurer. Each year, the senior class leaves behind a gift in commemoration of their 4 years at Centerville High School. This tradition also allows the graduating class to give something back to Centerville as a way of saying thank you. Our class has purchased a set of picnic tables with umbrellas with the class of 2000 engraved on them. We hope that both current and future Centerville students enjoy the tables as much as we have enjoyed our time here. Thank you. Good evening, family, friends, and faculty, and congratulations to the class of 2000. I am Leslie Tobin.
And I am Lindsay Del Quadro. We are your senior class historians. Tonight we've been given the pleasure of carrying you through the past 4 years spent in our own fairy tale. As naive freshmen, we were swept from the comfort and security of middle school and tossed somewhere over the rainbow into a land of uncertainty, which we soon came to recognize as high school. We were unaware of what was at the end of each hallway, much less what was at the end of our path. Unknowing and fearful, we tried with all our strength to blend into the background. Surrounded by blue and black, confused at pep rallies, and curious about the pool on the 4th floor, we had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
We were scarecrows on a quest for knowledge. We entered the lunchroom in search of a familiar face, danced the night away in Camelot, and attempted to adjust to the 1.5-hour class periods. Our freshman football team was undefeated. The Sully Bowl sat in our trophy case, and we created an award-winning float. By the end of the year, we had made a mark for ourselves as the largest class in Centerville's history. As sophomores, we entered with a sense of belonging, but we still stood at the beginning of our yellow brick road. Some of us entered our first AP classes, many of us sat behind the wheel of a car for the first time, and the words Alpha and Omega took on a new meaning.
The separate schedules made friendships difficult and introduced a new fear to those of us who were placed in junior and senior classes. However, we were forced to rise above our cowardly inclinations and face our obstacles head-on. Though our expectations were not always met, and our yellow brick road was by no means paved in gold, we persevered and refused to allow anything to stand in the way of our dreams. Our experiences only made us stronger, and our will to reach our destination gave us the courage and strength to move on. As juniors, we successfully found our way through SATs, ACTs, and college aspirations. We began to recognize our true friends, some found true love, and many developed relationships that would stand the test of time. We were forced to prioritize our lives between longtime friends and newfound responsibilities at school, work, and home.
However, all of our hard work and dedication soon paid off, and we not only won our homecoming game by 43 points, but our junior float placed first, making us the only class in Centerville's history to defeat the seniors 2 years in a row. The girls' tennis team embarked on a state championship tradition, and the boys' track team reached new heights by winning the district title. 1999 was also the first year that Centerville High DECA made it all the way to the National Career Development Conference.
We had formed for ourselves a shield against any obstacle that life threw our way, and despite the dents placed in our tin armor, we endured and came to the realization that our true strength came from within. Junior year presented us with the opportunity to find our hearts and recognize ourselves for not only our accomplishments, but even for our defeats, which allowed our shields to strengthen. Now as seniors, we are leaving Centerville with many virtues and memories. We have gained knowledge through our experiences, strength through our hardships, and found not only our talents, desires, hopes, and fears, but have found our hearts as well.
We will always remember the Friday night football games, SGA banners, after-school announcements.
The 20-minute wait to exit the student parking lot, cafeteria lines, hallway gatherings.
The smiling faces of Mr. McGee and Miss Ladd as we stumble in at 7:26. The Friday night plans, buzzing pagers, ringing cell phones.
Appeal forms, hall passes, college applications.
School plays, spirit weeks, choral concerts, band performances.
The class picnic, karaoke night, our Sully Bowl anxieties, the golf cart.
Exams, yearbook signings, and the long-awaited graduation.
We have done it all.
Like the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man, we are all searching for our place in the world. Our Emerald City lies before us. We all have something to give, but more importantly, we still have much to learn. Today, as you walk down from this stage, you will leave your yellow brick road behind. The Emerald City that the world has to offer you is filled with all of life's wonders. We hope that you embrace them with open minds and open hearts. Someday, when you look back on your years at Centerville, you will remember the youth and innocence that we now possess. In your old yearbooks, the faces you have known so well these past years will look out at you and smile.
In these eyes, there's a kind of hope that you will find nowhere else. The promise of a new century, the dreams which are somewhere over the rainbow, the possibilities in each tomorrow of the next 1,000 years. We are the class of the millennium. As we say goodbye to classes, friends, and each other, as we mark our achievements with pride, as we look to the future and dream our grandest dreams, may we always remember the path which brought us to this point in our lives. Enter your Emerald City and embrace your future. Remember that there is no place like home and no love like the kind you can find there. Congratulations, class of 2000. Our yellow brick road was a path well traveled.
Now please sit back and enjoy the senior class slideshow.
you by the restoration that you done. So make the best of this task and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, and in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
I think your senior class officers deserve a round of applause. This is a tough time for the graduates. It's the musical interlude. I can see you're already getting restless. So try to contain yourself. If the students who are in the choir and music, please walk to the back now, and the valedictorians are taking their seats. While they're doing that, I'd like to introduce our stage guests. To my left, starting with Mr. Principal of the Commonwealth Sub-School. Sharon Eisenberg, who is the principal of the Blue Ridge Sub-School. Mr. Sterry McGee, who is the administrator principal. All right, now we don't need the audience cheering to go on here. Okay, all right, you know, this may be the last night you're allowed to play with toys, you know that? Okay, we're gonna try to
Our guest speaker has been chosen by a majority vote of the class of 2000. Even though he has been teaching world literature at Centerville High School for only 2 years, he has developed a profound reputation with students in our school. He has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina and a graduate degree from the University of Washington. He spent 21 years in international finance and has traveled extensively in over 100 countries and lived in Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, Mauritius, and the Philippines. His students are lucky to have heard his many great experiences, his inspiring quotations, and his ever-helpful advice in life. Now we are very fortunate to have this opportunity to hear this remarkable gentleman before we, the graduating class of 2000, all part and go our separate ways. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Vaughn Williams.
Thank you, Christine. Salamat po. In Tagalog, that means thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, seniors. Thank you very much, seniors, for asking me to speak to you tonight. I consider it a real privilege. There are countless examples of commencement speeches that can be used for the occasion. I looked at many of them. They range from individualism, nonviolence, brotherly love, how to survive in the 21st century, how to spend and make bucketfuls of money. Just a few days ago, I had the privilege of hearing someone give a speech about living a life well spent. It reminded me of Henry David Thoreau that some of you mentioned tonight, his days up at Baldwin Pond. In preparation for tonight's remarks, and realizing that a certain amount of pilfering is socially acceptable among speakers, someone told me that Chris Cotter had recently given a commencement speech that was well received. Where's Chris? Anyway, not being one for reinventing the wheel, as many of you know, I asked Chris if he would share a copy of his speech with me. I told him that I would just make a few changes here and there. No one would ever know that it was his speech. Being the man of character that he is, he just laughed at me. I took this as an object lesson and I decided to come up with my own comments tonight. As some of you may appreciate, preparing a commencement speech can be a challenging exercise. The parents in the audience would like to hear something that's rather sentimental, perhaps. They've spent 18 years training you for tonight's situation. You're leaving here, they're sad. Or happy. Separation is a painful exercise, folks. Whether it be graduating, or whether it be the umbilical cord being cut. Anyway, I think that they would perhaps like something sentimental, but anyway, I've tried to strike a balance here. The faculty, of course, they always want to have something that's substantive. I mean, they've been with you 3 or 4 years, and they would like to know that their time was well spent. And the seniors, you, I know exactly what you want, because you've told me what you want. You want something that's short. Well, the rule of thumb for a good speech is that it be short, sweet, and to the point. So I tried to accomplish that tonight, and I tried to meet these expectations. In the business world, I gave many speeches to many different groups. However, this is the first time I've given a speech to a high school graduating class. So after my disappointment with Chris Carter, I went to my filing cabinet and pulled out many of my old speeches to see if they even remotely applied to tonight's occasion. Absolutely not. None of them applied. They all talked about international banking, conducting international trade, analyzing companies and governments for foreign loans. Therefore, I started my remarks from scratch. I started by asking myself why 142 of you illustrious seniors wanted me to speak to you this evening. It must have been something that I said or did during the course of this year, I suppose. Obviously, you 142 seniors are going to have to hear me repeat some things that you've heard before, because there are 142 of you and there are 445 that have not been exposed to the enigma of Vaughan Williams. So, therefore, you're going to have to bear with me. I hope that you 142 seniors know that the spontaneity of the classroom cannot necessarily be duplicated here tonight. You see, I'm here, and it's not exactly a one-on-one situation. I can make comments, you cannot. So anyway, I was supposed to have someone on stage with me tonight, and I'm sorry that person is not here. As some of you know, one of our parting stories this year was Big Mama's funeral. As a matter of fact, when we were studying that story, timing is interesting in life, folks. When we were studying the story, Big Mama's funeral, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the movie started appearing around Fairfax County. And one of my illustrious seniors decided to bring into the classroom the life-size poster of Big Mama. And I was encouraged to bring the poster of Big Mama tonight and stand it on the stage. Sorry, I couldn't get anyone to hold it for me. That's the problem. Many of you asked if I were going to mention names tonight. The only name that I plan to mention tonight has already been mentioned, Chris Carter. I had 142 of you as students. Can you imagine what time we would finish if I went through 142 names and talked about each one of you? It would not be fair to mention one or two or three. No, I would have to mention all 142 of you. All of you were very special to me, and I remember you. I will remember you always. In your senior program, you mentioned my voice, my travels, and literature coming alive in our classes. Over the years, I found that one's voice can indeed get them in trouble and out of trouble. You might even be called upon to give a commencement speech, whereas otherwise I could be sitting on the end of the aisle, relaxing like the rest of the faculty, looking for devilish tricks being played by seniors. In our literature classes, we related all my travels on almost a daily basis in the literature that we studied, the world literature. I tried to bring the outside world to the classroom through literature. I consider that my mandate. In so doing, we touched on a multitude of subjects. The world was our stage. The world was our playground. I often mention to the classes that on any given day, I can relate the day's events back to the classroom through pieces of literature that we studied. Whether it be Augusto Pinochet and Pablo Neruda in Chile, whether it be patriotism in Japan, Big Mama in Colombia, arranged marriages in South Asia, or the plight of the farmers in Zimbabwe. I found it informative to try to relate a simple short story such as Good Climate-Friendly Inhabitants, a story about a Rhodesian man and a South African woman, to none other than Bill Clinton. The association being that Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar, and the Rhodes Scholarship was established by Cecil Rhodes, the founder of Rhodesia, presently known as Zimbabwe. I try to help seniors see associations, to see relationships in our literature and world events. I always found it instructive to deal with seniors like this. I felt that it was important to bring any outside newsworthy event to bear on a piece of literature, if it would make it more meaningful and more memorable. Quite often I would start the day by saying, you know, it's such-and-so's birthday today. Well, one of the sort of concluding stories that we did this year, an existentialist story called The Wall by Jean-Paul Sartre. Seniors, today is Jean-Paul Sartre's birthday. So anyway, I always like to relate these things to different pieces of literature that we studied. I injected literature with my personal travels whenever the occasion called for it. Often the student would ask me how I came to know so many things about so many places, and how it all related back to literature. I would generally respond to the student that when they had climbed as many mountains, forded as many streams, and touched as many wonderful people in the world as I had, then and only then perhaps will they come to understand where I'm coming from in terms of experience, and also the relevance of world events to literature. I'm here tonight to defend myself from the parents of my seniors. Your sons and daughters probably did not misrepresent me. We tried to make world literature interesting and exciting. We indeed tried to make it come alive, as you said in your seniorgram. We examined the world and all of its differences. It is indeed these differences that we came to understand. Different strokes for different folks applied to every story that we read. The expression applies so poignantly to you seniors as you leave here and go into the real world of work or academia. We are all different. We cannot all be Vaughan Williams, thank goodness. We have, however, learned that a sign of maturity and intelligence is respecting differences. Our society is indeed beautiful because of the fact that we have learned to accept different strokes for different folks as the cornerstone of our democratic system. It is also important, as you leave Centerville High School, that you approach life with the flexibility of the bamboo. Because of my long association with Asia, I have come to deeply respect the bamboo. I can readily see how the flexibility of the bamboo typifies life. Life is neither black nor white. There are many nuances, many gray areas. One should be flexible enough to try to understand and appreciate others' differences. You don't have to accept these differences. However, if you don't try to understand different strokes, life may be harsh to you. Flexible like the bamboo applies to all of us. Were I not a bit flexible like the bamboo in the classroom, I would have cashed in my chips earlier in the year. So seniors, as you go into the real world, try to appreciate different strokes for different folks, and also try to be flexible like the bamboo. Earlier this year, one of you asked me for a copy of the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley. During the course of the year, I often quoted parts of this poem. It applied to the classroom, it applies to you as you face the world that awaits you. It goes like this. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the foul clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments a scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. What I often quoted to the classes was a last stanza about being masters of your own fate. How true. I can remember whispering the master of your own fate stanza discreetly into the ears of several of you seniors. As teachers, we often cajoled, threatened, and pleaded with you. Perhaps teachers harassed you because they didn't want to be blamed for your shortcomings. As you deal with life beyond the classroom, remember that you are truly masters of your own fate. I found out in life that one gets out of it in proportion to what one puts into it. If you work hard and strive for perfection, you'll succeed. However, if you rest on your laurels, you will reap what you sow. Such is life. Así es la vida. Therefore, we, your teachers, encourage you to work hard, to be passionate in all of your endeavors, and to always have an objective. Objectives motivate. Without objectives, without motivation, we flounder about and are buffeted by the many vicissitudes of life. Quoting Mr. Keating from Dead Poets Society, carpe diem, seize the day, suck the marrow out of life, as did Henry David Thoreau. I occasionally referred to Rudyard Kipling this year with reference to his poem, The Betrothed, a poem about marriage and cigars. Many of you may recall Kipling from such other works as Gunga Din, Mandalay, and the like. However, I wish to share with you seniors one of Kipling's poems called If. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, If you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat both these impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you've given your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it in one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart, your nerve, and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and hold on when there is nothing in you except a will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son, or a woman, my daughter. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to a teacher that I may have offended. Several months ago, when I was nearing the Albert Camus expression in the hallway across from the gym beside the snack bar, I sidled up beside of a teacher that was going in the same direction as me. In an aside, I said to this teacher, don't walk in front of me, I might not follow. Don't walk behind me, I might not lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend. I looked at the teacher. She was indeed startled. I don't know who she was. All I remember is that the lady had on pink. I pointed to the Albert Camus quotation on the wall, and I kept on walking. To this day, I don't know who the lady was. I hope that she didn't think that I had gone completely bonkers. Seniors, I can implore you for hours to love one another, to never lose faith, to always keep your chin up, to play to win every point. But I will ask you to pause occasionally and to smell the roses as you motivate through life. This is something we don't do often enough. William Wordsworth recognized a problem as far back as 1807 when he said, the world is too much with us late and soon. Getting and spending we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. The sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything we are out of tune. It moves us not, great God, I'd rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wretched horn. Even though he wrote the poem back in 1807, folks, it is still full of meaning today. As you leave here and go into the real world and are consumed by your quest for El Dorado and are driven by your ambitions, it is essential that you pause occasionally and smell the roses. All of us need moments of reflection and rejuvenation. If we say we don't, we're denying ourselves. Some of you may recall how I would occasionally remark to you about sitting in the mountains of Nepal or in Japanese monasteries contemplating my navel. While this was an exaggeration, I did find that when I was in the business world, the quiet periods away from the hustle and bustle of finance were some of my most productive moments. Whatever method you choose, seniors, pause once in a while and smell the roses. Seniors, look beyond yourselves. Look beyond your own circumstances. Think of others. Think of service. Think of the joy that comes from doing good. Remember Emily Dickinson when she says, if I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto its nest again, I shall not live in vain. Seniors, don't let your lives be in vain. Carpe diem. We can advise, we can encourage you, we can pressure you, but in the final analysis, you and you alone can chart your course in life. You are the masters of your own fate. In conclusion, as you and I both leave Centerville High School, and especially you, take Longfellow's Psalm of Life with you. Some of you have heard it earlier in the year. Take it with you as you leave here. It goes like this. Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the goal is not its grave. Grave is not its goal. Dust thou art to dust returneth, was not spoken of the soul. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act, that each tomorrow finds us farther than today. Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating funeral marches to the grave. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like drum-driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Trust no future, how or pleasant, that the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present, heart within, and bowed or head. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and, departing, leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing o'er life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing, shall take part again. Let us then be up and doing with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. Thank you, seniors. Carpe diem. Good luck.
been a pleasure to serve as your faculty sponsors. You have distinguished yourselves in academics, athletics, school leadership, music, drama, and numerous other school activities in an exemplary manner. We have shared special moments, from painting the bleachers, building the homecoming floats, competing in unforgettable class nights, planning last year's prom, and participating in a very memorable baccalaureate ceremony.
During our years together, we have come to respect you and we have learned from you. We will always remember you and look forward to your return visits and wish you the very best in your continued journey.
And now, will the class of 2000 please rise? It is our honor to introduce to you, to present to you the class of 2000.
Kenneth E. Bourne, Jr. Jamie Lee Boyce. Where's Justin? Pamela Jean Bosset. Shannon Bree Core Broad.
Anthony Philip Cipriano.
Sophia K. Hassan.
Amber Aaron Hathaway. Margaret Gregory Hoggs. Christine Marie Hefner. Mary Melissa Helly. Melissa Day Henshaw. Cassandra Lee Hernandez.
Brian Francis Kiefer. Gregory Ryan Kelly.
Jacqueline Ann Kennard. Sean Patrick Kennedy. Christopher Lindsay Kovic. Adnan Ratna Khan. Sana Fatima Khan. Mary Lambert. Robert D. Lane. Richard Michael Langmeyer. Owen Alexis Larafente. Charlotte Ann LaRoche. Jeremy Jacob Blatt. Kim Angel Lee.
Teresa Ann Lunsford. Jacqueline S. McDonald. Victor Raul Mato.
Brian Andrew Madigan. Sarah Emily Maxson. Nazar Nashid Michelli. Anna Jo Major. George Mao.
Joy Nicole McCall. Laura Marie McCarthy. Nicole Renee McCarthy. Jason Lee Murray. Sean Christopher Nagel. Daniel Frank Naples. Crystal Renee Neal.
It's fitting, right? Say the
Matthew Ryan Nelson. Nesbitt. Clifford Newland.
Justin Bradley Cargill. David Park. Sang Yap Park.
Taylor S. Peterson. John James Petroli. William Earl Dew III.
Mary Lee McCall Phillips. Ella Pinchas. Shannon Gale Cannell. Sarah Yvonne Kittlecock. Emily Jane Powell. Janelle Elizabeth Powell. Rosanna Frances Powers.
I think she likes hats.
Hold it up.
Michael Eugene Prater Jr. White Elizabeth Prophet.
I thought Jason would have at least the air horn. Let me down.
Cheryl Teresa Pruitt. Jeremy Dwayne Punches. Jessica Winsong Perks. Reza Rahman.
Nima Rashidi. Amy Rebecca Ratliff. Jonathan Walter Redding. Daniel Allen Reed. Catherine Abigail Sauceville. Leslie Lynn Scherer. Stacy Dale Schetzel. Jessica Rose Shealy.
Jessica!
Catherine Adria Schumann.
Sean Kevin Schutte. Amy Lynn Schutz.
Suk Yu. Ashmi Yusuf. Andrew Thomas Young. April Alvarez Young. Karen Anita Young. Amy Louise Aronis. Ali Zaka. Heidi Marie Zinsler. Russell White Jr. The High School graduating class of 2000.
Will the class of 2000 please stand up? Wait a minute. Remember the important words. By the power vested me in the Commonwealth of Virginia, I now pronounce you graduates with all rights and privileges due to them. Congratulations. Really. Good evening, graduates. My name is Virginia Lee, and I am your senior class president. This is my last opportunity to speak to you all, and it is an honor for me to have the privilege to speak at our graduation tonight. Class of 2000, I would like you all to do something for me. Look around for a moment. Find your family. Now I want you to do something else for me. Please. Think about how much they have done for you. We should thank them for all the love and support that has brought us here tonight. This may be the last time all of us are here under one roof. We completed our last homework assignment, last thrill dodging Mr. Warren in a Suburban, our last lunch at the Energy Zone. And tonight, we should revel in the last time we were all here to share such a special moment. Truthfully, it is very hard for me to stand up here and talk seriously to the people that I address with dude and man without sounding like a cheesy Hallmark card, but I assure you that what I'm about to say tonight is very sincere. We're sitting here as high school graduates with the whole world and our whole lives ahead of us. There's so much more to life in high school. We gotta go out there and show the world what we're made of. It's not gonna be that easy, we got lots to learn. And we can't learn without experience. And experience cannot be gained without grabbing opportunities. Grab every opportunity that comes your way.
Whether it be a higher education, whether you can climb Mount Everest, whatever, just do it. It takes some people years to figure that out. To figure out that all it does, it just takes the recognition of opportunity to achieve your goals. It may not take you guys a 5-minute speech, but I figure it's worth a shot. Do what makes you happy. Be your own person. Stop caring about what everybody thinks about you. We had all of the high school to take care of that. And now that high school's over, let's enjoy what we have. We have the ability to make waves and touch the world with our own individualism.